Hi there folks, welcome back to Ritchie Reviews. I just got out of seeing Wrath of Man, and this is co-written and directed by Guy Ritchie. This is apparently based off a 2004 French film. I doubt that any American audience actually saw, and so therefore the American studios are like, okay, let's make our own film to gaslight the original. And this is the fourth time that Guy Ritchie has starred with Jason Statham on a film together. And Jason Statham plays a guy named H, a cold and mysterious stranger that works for a cash trucking company. Now, I don't know if cash trucks are still around. If they are, good for them, because I think most people use digital currency now, and therefore I think events like these in the film will probably be out of fashion, but if they're still happening, I learn something new every day. This film is divided into 4 sections. Now the first section is when H, played by Jason Statham, joins this company, and he is greeted with some similar enthusiasm by Holt McCallum, who was on Mindhunter with David Fincher and Josh Hartnett. It's quite nice to see Josh Hartnett in a film these days. One has to wonder, where has Josh Hartnett been all these years? The only other recognizable names in this is Jeffrey Donovan as someone else who I'll introduce later, and the other one is Andy Garcia as another person I'll mention later in this review. As I said, there's 4 sections to this. The first section is dedicated to Statham's first day on the job, 12 months on the job. And then we come to learn in the second part who he actually is. He happens to be sort of a British gangster type who happens to lose his son, and he tries to go after the villain. And this leads obviously to Andy Garcia, who happens to be sort of a cleanup guy or whatever he's credited as the king, I think I hear. He decides to go undercover at this cash truck company after his crew just sort of goes all out on trying to figure out, okay, who is responsible here, and they come up really empty, although they do untangle some really ugly people in the process. And trust me folks, no one should have to deal with what Jason Statham is doing. Now, the second half of the story sort of goes in a Heat-like direction. Never would I ever say to myself, okay, I'll mention Heat, a great Michael Mann film, and inside a Guy Ritchie joint. In this team, one of them happens to be Scott Eastwood, the guy who happened to kill Jason Statham's son. Now obviously Scott Eastwood is sort of a loose cannon of sorts, and no one really trusts the Scott Eastwood character, but of course you go to bat with the people that you work with. The fourth and final section of the film, all the shit goes down, and obviously they have it. The Jeffrey Donovan character has a man on the inside, and obviously Jason Statham is sort of looking for the inside guy. Now granted, maybe I'm just dumb, or maybe it's just because I wasn't thinking very hard as to who it could easily be the inside man, but I was like, wow, okay, that's reasonably interesting that this person is the inside guy. And there's also a whole bunch of humor that I didn't realize was conceivably possible from a trucking company. And everyone's, again, just sort of amazed that this guy is like cool under pressure and not like, oh yeah, running scared when guns show up ablazing. One of the more interesting things that I come to learn while actually trying to review this film for you guys, the American distributor here is United Artists. In the United Kingdom, it's Lionsgate. Everywhere else, it happens to be Universal, but the production companies here happens to be MGM and Miramax. Essentially got MGM, United Artists, and Miramax, who are essentially copyright holders, essentially. You got Lionsgate that seems to be doing tax write-offs all the time. And you got Universal, who's apparently the only 2 big franchises they have, Fast and Furious and Jurassic World. And congratulations, Guy Ritchie. He saved the final shootout from me and tried to copy it here. But the main problem is here, maybe it was just me, maybe the speaker system in this thing, but this thing was so loud. The music was just so loud that you were thinking to yourself, could someone please just turn down the speaker system? Or maybe that was just the way that Guy Ritchie was doing this. And I'm just happy to see Jason Statham shoot people in the face. Again, not in the PG-13 Expendable 3s type of way. So in the end, folks, what I'm going to say about Wrath of Man, amazingly enough, I'm going to give this a matinee rating because, hey look, Guy Ritchie's in his element with gangsters. So folks, Wrath of Man, have you seen this? What did you think? Please put everything in the comment box below here, folks. As always, folks, like, comment, subscribe, and enrich yourself with knowledge. I'll see you next time, folks. Yes, hooray.